Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat Pranam. So we'll get started. Uh, we'll start with this simple kirtan, and then we'll do the prayers and then start the class. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Ho Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jai Ho Radha Gopi Vallabha Radha Gopi Vallabha Radhe Jai Ho Radha Govardhan Dhari Radha Govardhan Dhari Radhe Jai Ho Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Jai Ho Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Shyama Sundar Radhe Jai Ho Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jai Ho Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jai Ho Radhe Jai Ho Radhe Jai Ho Radhe Jai Ho Shri Radhe Jayo Krishna, Jayo Krishna, Jayo Krishna, Jayo Shri Krishna, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami, Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me Nitai Garango Nitai Garango Nitai Garango Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari Patita Pavana पतित पावाना गौर हरि। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल 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 हरि बोल। श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So we'll do the regular prayers and then we'll start the class. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 माधव श्री चैतन्य Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining the class. So today we are going to discuss on fourth chapter, Canto 4, chapter 24. This chapter is also called Rudra Gita, or chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. So as we know, as we saw in the last chapter, Prithu Maharaj left this world and he went to the abode of the Lord. So now Maitreya Muni is telling the further, is talking about the lineage of Prithu Maharaj, his sons and his grandsons and all that. And in this discussion comes the story of Pracheta in this chapter of Rudra Gita. So we'll make a start. So we are not going to today will not get into Rudra Gita. Actually, Rudra Gita actually starts from verse 33. So we will try to see how much we can cover before that. So definitely, I mean, this is a very, very big chapter. This has like around more than, it's at 79 shlokas. So and Rudra Gita starts from shloka 33. So definitely we are not going to get into Rudra Gita, but we'll see the context before that, and discuss how the Prachetas or Prachin Bhari actually meets Lord Shiva. So we'll stop at that, and then in the next class we will actually get into the Rudra Gita. So let's make a start. And as we know, today the Navratra is starting, and this is a very, very apt chapter actually, where discussions about Mother Durga is also there, and how she's the energy of Lord Shiva, how Lord Shiva, I mean, uses Mother Durga to annihilate the suras and all. So some of the discussions about that also is there in the chapter. So it's a kind of an apt chapter to discuss today. So let's make a start. So we'll read the translation and we'll read the purports. Let's start from Shloka 1, chapter 24. So the great sage Maitreya continued. Vijit Sava, the eldest son of Maharaj Prithu, who had a reputation like his father's, became emperor and gave his younger brothers different directions of the world to govern, for he was very affectionate towards his brothers. Purport. After describing the life and character of Maharaj Prithu in the previous chapter, the great sage Maitreya began to speak about the sons and grandsons in the genealogical line of the Prithu dynasty. After the death of Maharaj Prithu, his eldest son Vijit Sava became the emperor of the world. King Vijit Sava was very affectionate toward his younger brothers, and therefore he wanted them to rule different directions of the world. From the time immemorial, the eldest son generally becomes king after the death of the previous king. When the Pandavas ruled the earth, Maharaj Yudhishthir, the eldest son of King Pandu, became emperor, and his younger brothers assisted him. Similarly, King Vijit Sava's younger brothers were appointed to govern the different directions of the world. So very, very simple and clear, that in Vedic culture, the eldest son succeeds the father, and the younger brothers actually are help him to govern it, right? So and that's what is King Vijitsava became the emperor, and since he had great affection towards his brothers, he gave the different directions of the world to be ruled by his younger brothers. Let's move on. Anybody would want to read the translation? Okay. So Maharaj Vijitsava. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Translation: Maharaj Vijitsava offered the eastern part of the world to his brother Haryaksha, the southern part to Dhumrakesha, the western part to Vraka, and the northern part to Dravina.
Yes. So we can see there are 4 brothers mentioned here. Harakshaya, southern part to Dhumrakesha, Vraka, and Dravina, right? Let's move on. Formerly, Maharaj Vijitsava pleased the king of heaven Indra, and from him received the title Antardhana. His wife's name was Shikandini, and by her he begot 3 good sons. So the genealogical order is being described. Now, why did Vijitsava please the king of heaven? Because when Indra was stealing the horse of sacrifice in the arena of Maharaj Prithu, though Vijitsava did not actually catch him and kill him. He allowed him to steal the horse. So we'll see in the purport what Prabhupada says. So Maharaj Vijitsava was known as Antardhana, which means disappearance. Antardhyan hona, right? We say Antardhyan. That is which means disappearance. He received this title from Indra, and it refers to the time when Indra stole Maharaj Prithu's horse from the sacrificial arena. Indra was not visible to others when he was stealing the horse, but Maharaj Prithu's son Vijitsava could see him. Yet despite his knowing that Indra was taking away his father's horse, Vijitsava did not attack him. This indicates that Maharaj Vijitsava respected the right persons. Although Indra was stealing the horse from his father, Vijitsava knew perfectly well that Indra was not an ordinary thief. Since Indra was a great and powerful demigod and servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vijitsava purposefully excused him due to sentiment only, even though Indra was acting wrongly. Thus, Indra became very pleased with Vijitsava at that time. The demigods have the great mystic power of being able to appear and disappear according to their will. And since Indra was very pleased with Vijitsava, he bestowed this mystic power upon him. Thus Vijitsava became known as Antardhana, right? So he got the mystic power from Indra. Vijitsava could disappear. Antardhyan hona means to disappear, and he could disappear and appear according to his will, and he got this power from Indra, right? And another thing is his wife's name is Shikhandini, and he begot 3 sons. So let's look at the names of the sons in further shlokas. The 3 sons of Maharaj Antardhana were named Pavaka, Pavamana, and Suchi. Formerly, these 3 personalities were the demigods of fire, but due to curse of the great sage Vashishta, they became the sons of Maharaj Antardhana. As such, they were as powerful as the fire gods, and they attained the destination of mystic yoga power, being again situated as the demigods of fire. Now, does anybody know about this? Why did Vashishta actually curse fire god Agnidev? I haven't read about this. I don't know. Sorry. But if anybody knows about it, can please explain. Okay, that's okay. So we'll read the purport. In Bhagavad Gita 6.414 to 43, it is stated that one who falls from yoga practice is elevated to the heavenly planets. And after enjoying the material facilities there, he again comes down to the earthly planet and takes birth in a very rich family or a very pious Brahmana family. Thus, it is to be understood that when demigods fall down, they come to earth as sons of very rich and pious families. In such families, the living entity gets an opportunity to execute Krishna consciousness and thereby gain promotion to his desired goal. The sons of Maharaj Antardhana have been the demigods in charge of fire, and they regained their former position and by mystic power returned to the heavenly planets. So we can see this, right? I mean, there are other shlokas also in Bhagavad Gita where if you perform like Neha Vikrama Nashtosti, Swalpa, I mean, if you perform some devotional service, then it can destroy the all your fears, right? Similarly, if you fall down from the yoga practice, you take birth in a pious family and then you can continue your journey further. So nothing goes waste actually in spiritual life. That's the beauty of the spiritual life, that nothing goes waste. And even if you do small things, you make small progress, that progress will help you further in your next birth. So that is what Prabhupada is explaining, and that these sons were born in a pious family, and they could again attain their heavenly planets. Anybody would want to read?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Translation. Maharaj Antardhana. Maharaj Antardhana had another wife named Navaswati. Navaswati, and by her he was happy to beget another son named Havirdhana. Since Maharaja Antardhana was very liberal, he did not kill Indra while the demigod was stealing his father's horse at the sacrifice. Purport. It is understood that various scriptures and Puranas that the king of heaven, Indra, was very expert in stealing and kidnapping. He could steal anything without being visible to the proprietor, and he could kidnap anyone's wife without being detected. Once he raped the wife of Gautami Muni by using his disappearing art, and similarly by becoming invisible, he stole the horse of Maharaj Prithu. Although in the human society such activities are considered abominable, the demigod Indra was not considered to be degraded by them. Although Antardhana could understand that King Indra was stealing the horse from his father, he did not kill Indra, for he knew that if one who is very powerful sometimes commits an abominable act, it should be disregarded. In Bhagavad Gita 9.30, it is clearly stated, Apichet Shudrachora Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhag Sadhur Eva Sa Mantavayah Samayak Vashvisto Hi Saha. Thus, the Lord says that even if a devotee commits an abominable act, he should be considered a sadhu or pious man because of his unflinching devotion to the Lord. The devotees of the Lord never willingly commit any sinful act, but sometimes they commit something abominable due to the previous habits. Such acts should not be taken very seriously. However, because the devotees of the Lord are very powerful, whether they are on the heavenly planets or on this planet, if by chance they commit something abominable, it should not be taken into account. It should be overlooked. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it is very important that we understand this in the right context. This is not a license to do abominable activities for us. We should not be taking this purport as saying that it is all allowed. So please, we should understand this context very well. What we should understand is that it is the Lord who, when he wants to do some leela, he makes the devotee behave in that way. This is not a license to actually commit sinful activities for us. So please be very, very careful when we interpret this this purport, or we read this purport. Prabhupada is not saying that this gives us a license to commit all kinds of abominable activities. So we can see that Indra, he has committed, I mean one of the sins he is saying is that he's stealing, right? He's stealing, and he has committed rape on the wife of Gautama Muni, right? So now, if you look at it in Vedic Shastras, if somebody kidnaps your wife, you can kill him and you will not get any sin, right? This is what is mentioned in our Vedic scriptures. If somebody burns down your house or somebody kidnaps your wife, you can kill him, and then there is no sin you will incur because of that killing. But here it has to be understood that the Lord has actually, since the Lord wanted to perform some pastime, he's using his devotee to do that. And that should be our interpretation. And that does not give us a license to do anything wrong or commit such activities. So please be very, very careful about this, right? Okay, so let's move on. 24.6. Whenever Antardhana, the supreme royal power, had to exact taxes, punish his citizens, or fine them severely, he was not willing to do so. Consequently, he retired from the execution of such duties and engaged himself in the performance of different sacrifices. Purport. It is clear herein that the king sometimes has to perform duties which are not very desirable, just because he is the king. Similarly, Arjuna was not at all willing to fight, because fighting or killing one's own kinsmen and family members is not at all desirable. Nonetheless, the Kshatriyas had to perform such undesirable actions as a matter of duty. Maharaj Antardhana was not very happy while exacting taxes or punishing the citizens for their criminal activities. Therefore, on the plea of performing sacrifices, he retired from the royal majestic power at a very early age. So the king has lot of duties, right? These are the again, those we had a class roles, and your you have some power and then you have some responsibility, right? So the king has certain responsibilities. He has some powers to exact the taxes, punish the citizens, right? But then his responsibility is to take care of them, to make sure that they become God conscious. So though King Antardhana was not interested in doing all this, so that's why he retired, because his own swadharma or his swabhav was not to punish people or to do all these acts. So that's why he gave up his royal power, and he retired from being the king. So he retired early from these duties, right? Because he was not interested in performing them. Correct. So a king has to perform his duties, though they look bad or they are not is not very pleasing, but he has to perform them as a duty. He has to make sure that he collects the taxes. He has to make sure that he punishes the citizens for their wrongdoing, and so on. So those are the things the king has to do. And in those days, since the people were very pious and had were very merciful, they did not like doing this. And King Antardhana especially had that I would say a very soft heart or merciful heart, and hence it was difficult for him to perform the role of a Kshatriya, right? To 4.24.7 translation. Although Maharaj Antardhana was engaged in performing sacrifices because he was self-realized soul, he very intelligently rendered devotional service to the Lord, who eradicates all the fears of his devotees. By thus worshipping the Supreme Lord, Maharaj Antardhana, wrapped in ecstasy, attained his planet very easily. Purport, anybody would want to read?
I will read, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry,
Prabhuji.
go ahead. Can I go ahead, Prabhu?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Please, Madhusudan Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Purport, since sacrifices are generally performed by fruitive actions, it is especially mentioned here, Tatrapi, that although Maharaja Antardhana was externally engaged in performing sacrifices, his real business was rendering devotional service by hearing and chanting. In other words, he was performing the usual sacrifices by the method of Sankirtana Yajna, as recommended herein. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dhasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedhanam. Bhagavad Gita 7.5.23. Devotional service is called Kirtana Yajna, and by practicing the Sankirtana Yajna, one is very easily elevated to the planet where Supreme Lord resides. Out of the 5 kinds of liberations, achieving the same planet where the Lord resides and living with the Lord, that is called Salokya liberation.
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. So, Maharaj Antardhana, I mean, it looks like he was on the top. If you look at it from externally, it looks like he was performing karma kandi sacrifices. No, but here it is mentioned Tatrapi Hamsam Purusham. Hamsam Purusham means one who kills the distress of his kinsmen. Purusham, unto the Supreme Person, right? So though he was performing sacrifices, he was actually doing devotional service, and by performing that devotional service, he obtained one of the liberations, which is called as Salokya liberation. So there are 5 types of liberation. Let's look at it quickly. In what are those? Actually, I've just opened the page. So there are 5 types of liberation, which is mentioned in our so this shloka talks about that. So the 5 types of liberation is Salokya. So this is what Maharaj Antardhana achieved, which is living on the same planet as the Supreme Lord. Then there is Sarashti, Samipya, Sarupya, and Ekatva. So Ekatva is merging into the impersonal Brahman. So this is what the Jnanis and Yogis achieve, actually, merging into the effulgence of the Lord. Okay. Then, as we saw, Salokya liberation is actually living on the same planet as the Lord, right? Or the same residence, right? The second kind of liberation is called Salokya, or same residence, right? Then Sarhishti liberation. In the third type of liberation, the opulence of a devotee becomes equal to the Supreme Lord, right? Now, do we know of anyone who has achieved this Sarishti liberation? It is Bali Maharaj, right? He went to the Patal Loka and then he had similar opulence as the Lord, right? Then Samipa means close proximity. So this type of liberation, in this kind of liberation, a devotee has the great fortune of being in personal association of the Supreme Lord, right? So this is the kind of liberation for where you have the fortune of being in personal association of the Lord. So for example, Arjuna, right? Arjuna, whenever Lord Krishna appears, Arjuna also appears. So Arjuna, we can think of Arjuna as an example of this. Then Sarupya Mukti, the 5th and final type of liberation, a devotee develops bodily features which are exactly similar to the bodily features of the Supreme Lord, right? So again, we get a similar type. I mean, we also get 4 hands, we get conch shell and all that, and we get a similar type of bodily features as the Lord. Okay. Now, what is Prabhupada's opinion? What is the best liberation? So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamay, mama janmani janmanishware bhavtat bhaktir ahetuki tvai, right? So I just want to be your devotee of the Lord. I want to be your devotee, my dear Lord. So this is the prema bhakti which the devotee asks for and wants. So this is the great highest, is what Prabhupada is saying, and what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, right? So we can see this. So Maharaj Antardhana achieved this Salokya liberation. So the 5 types of liberation, and among these, one of them is Salokya, means living on the same planet as the Supreme Lord. Okay, let's move on. So 4.24.8 translation. Havirdhana, the son of Maharaj Antardhana, had a wife named Havirdhani, who gave birth to 6 sons named Baharishat, Gaya, Sukla, Krishna, Satya, and Jitavrata. So now again, further genealogy is being described of Prithu Maharaj, right? Prithu Maharaj had a son, Antardhana. He had brothers, and then is talking about the children of Maharaj Antardhana here. (4.24.9) translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, Havirdhana's very powerful son named Barishat was very expert in performing various kinds of fruitive sacrifices, and he was also expert in the practice of mystic yoga. By his great qualifications, he became known as a Prajapati." So, Parpat, in the beginning of the creation, there were not many living entities, and consequently the very powerful living entities or demigods were appointed as Prajapatis in order to beget children and increase the population. There are many Prajapatis like Brahma, Daksha, and Manu. There are many Prajapatis. Brahma, Daksha, and Manu are sometimes known as Prajapatis. And Barhishat, the son of Havirdhana, became one of them. So he became one of these Prajapatis. So Barhishat is also one of the Prajapatis. 4.24.10 Maharaj Bharishat executed many sacrifices all over the world. He scattered kusa grasses and kept the tops of the grasses pointed eastward. So let's look at the purport. So there is a big purport. Anybody would want to read? Please go ahead, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
Purport, as stated in the previous verse, Kriya Kandeshu Nisnata Maharaja Barhisat dived very deeply into the primitive activities of sacrifice. This means that as soon as he finished one yajna in one place, he began performing another yajna in the immediate vicinity. At the present moment, there is a similar need to perform Sankirtana yajna all over the world. The Krishna consciousness movement has started performing Sankirtana yajna in different places, and it has been experienced that wherever Sankirtana yajna is performed, many thousands of people gather and take part in it. So imperceptible auspiciousness achieved in this connection should be continued all over the world. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement should perform Sankirtana yajnas one after another, so much so that all the people of the world will either jokingly or seriously chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and thus they will derive the benefit of cleansing the heart. The holy name of the Lord, Hare Nama, is so powerful that whether it is chanted jokingly or seriously, the effect of vibrating this transcendental sound will be equally distributed. It is not possible at the present moment to perform repeated yajnas as Maharaja Barhisat performed, but it is within our means to perform Sankirtana yajna, which does not cost anything. One can sit down anywhere and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If the surface of the globe is over-flooded with the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, the people of the world will be very, very happy.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, I mean, this is what is the power of Sankirtana, right? I mean, see, the only strength which we have now in this Kali Yuga or anything that works in Kali Yuga is Sankirtan. Nothing else works in Kali Yuga. And this is also the power. Sorry, just a moment, Prabhuji. And so this is, I mean, this is our strength, right? If we perform Sankirtana Yajna, then we will get that spiritual strength, and with spiritual strength we make progress, right? So Sankirtana is very, very important, and it is equivalent to performing a yajna, right? So to give an example, right, when this Vrindavan temple, the ISKCON Vrindavan temple was getting inaugurated, Prabhupada had invited the Brahmanas to perform the yajna also. But he told his devotees that it's okay, let them perform the yajna, but the real yajna is to do the Sankirtan. So you should do the Sankirtan. And the Brahmanas were performing the fire sacrifice, and the devotees of ISKCON were actually doing the Sankirtana yajna at the same time. So for in Kali Yuga, doing Sankirtana is the only thing which will work, and we should make sure that we perform this this yajna. And that's what we try to do in satsang also, or anywhere, right? We go for Nagar Sankirtan. So this Sankirtana Yajna must continue, and that is the only way by which the people of the world will be happy. That's what Prabhupada is saying. And you can see this, right? I mean, if the world is functioning, something is good in this world is because there is some Sankirtana Yajna is happening somewhere. Otherwise, this place will become hell in no time. If the Sankirtana Yajna stops, if people stop chanting the names of the Lord, you will quickly see how quickly, the world will quickly turn into hell. And we can see the traces of hell at different parts of the world, right? You can clearly see this. You can see the wars happening, the way things are going. There is some peace and prosperity in this world is because somebody is somewhere is performing the Sankirtana Yajna. And this is the only reason why things are still sane in this world. Otherwise, this world will quickly descend down into a very, very vicious hell. And the Sankirtana thing is doing Sankirtana Yajna is the only hope for us in this Kali Yuga. So we should make sure that no matter what, we continue to perform this, and it does not take anything, right? You don't need anything for this. You just sit anywhere, and that's what Prabhupada is also mentioning, that you can sit anywhere. You sit it in your house also, and just do it. 4 people doing Sankirtan Yajna is also good enough. So that's the point Prabhupada is saying here. Let's move on. 4.24.11. Maharaj Bharishat, henceforward known as Prachinna Bhari. So Maharaj Bharishat is one of the sons of King Antardhan. And who Maharaj Bharishat is known as Prachinna Bhari, was ordered by the supreme demigod Brahma to marry the daughter of the ocean named Satadruti. Her bodily features were completely beautiful, and she was very young. She was decorated with proper garments, and when she came into the marriage arena and began circumambulating it, the fire god Agni became so attracted to her that he desired her company, exactly as he had formerly desired to enjoy Sukhi. So the purport is pretty big. It's okay. So the point here is that in a marriage ceremony, the wife actually circumambulates, right? And she is decorated with decorated properly. And what Prabhupada says here is, while the bridegroom finds the attraction happens during the ceremony itself, and that then it becomes very strongly fixed. So once men and women are naturally attracted to one, and when they are united by marriage, that attraction becomes very strong. So being so strongly attracted by, I mean, and then Prabhupada says that he tries to acquire property, grains, and sets up the world, and then he goes into material, perpetual material existence. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. Now, there is one important point here, like Prabhupada is making, that the world is driven by the sex desire or the sex drive. And Prabhupada has also mentioned, like, I mean, people would find this little contradictory, that sometimes even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they also get attracted by it. But please, we should understand that these personalities, these are very, very great personalities, and they are great devotees of the Lord. Like Lord Shiva is known as Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, right? He's the first class Vaishnava, right? So the Lord, the Lord Shiva is such a great devotee of the Lord that he allows himself to be used by the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord wants to do some pastime and wants to give a lesson to the people in general, he uses his devotees. And Lord Shiva, being one of the greatest devotee of the Lord, he allows himself to be used. For example, when that Lord Shiva gets attracted to Mohini Murti and starts running behind her, right? So the devotees of the Lord Shiva are looking at the Lord. You can see the situation of Lord Shiva, that he is allowing himself to be used. He's allowing himself to be to put himself in such a situation that is not, I mean, his name. I mean, if in general people think that people might think that Lord Shiva is also lusty, so he allows himself to be put in that situation to serve the Lord. So he goes to that extent. So we should understand that these great personalities are doing certain things only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. They are doing it for such that they want to participate in the pastime of the Lord, right? And this should not be interpreted in such a way that these great personalities are also lusty like us. No, they are not. The difference is that they are participating in the pastimes of the Lord. As I said, right, Lord Shiva allows himself to be used in that situation such that the pastimes of the Lord can happen, right? .24.12 translation. While Satadruti was thus being married, the demons, the denizens of Gandharva Loka, the great sages and denizens of Siddha Loka, the earthly planets and Naga Loka, although highly exalted, were all captivated by the tinkling of her ankle bells. So now, again, you can see who all are attracted to Satadruti, and they wanted to. Now, Prabhupada here in the purport is explaining that they wanted to look at the complete beauty of Satadruti, but since she was covered in all the ornaments, they could only look at her feet, and they got attracted to the feet of Satadruti and were attracted by the tinkling of the ankle bells. And then Prabhupada also gives the example of Vishwamitra Muni, right? Who was attracted by the tinkling of the bangles of Menaka, right? Similarly, right, mystic. I mean, that's why Vishwamitra Muni, example of Vishwamitra Muni is also given, and so that's why we can see that even if you are a great yogi or a great jnani, you can very easily fall down, and simple things can attract you. So it is always better to perform devotional service rather than trying to become a mystic yogi, because the mystic yogis, the path for mystic yogis is very difficult, and the path for bhakti is much easier. That's what Prabhupada is explaining here. So let's move on. 4.24.13. Anybody would want to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, bro. King Prasinar Bhari. What is this, Prabhuji?
Prachinna Bhari.
King Prachinna Bhari begot 10 children in the womb of Satadruti. All of them were equally endowed with religiosity, and all of them were known as Prachetas.
So who are Prachetas? They are the sons of Prachinna Bhari.
Okay. The word Dharmasnatha is significant, for the 10 children were all merged in the practice of religion. In addition, they possessed all the good qualities. One is supposed to be perfect when one is perfectly religious, perfect in the execution of one's vows to render devotional service, perfect in knowledge, perfect in good behavior, and so on. All the prachetas were the same level, on the same level of platform, sorry, on same level of perfection.
Correct. Okay. So who are Prachetas? They are the sons of Prachinna Bhari, right? We'll see about these Prachetas. 4.24.14 translation. When all these Prachetas were ordered by their father to marry and beget children, they all entered the ocean and practiced austerities and penances for 10,000 years. Thus they worshipped the master of all austerity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Perfect. Sometimes great sages and ascetics enter the Himalaya mountains in order to find seclusion from the turmoil of the world. It appears, however, that all the Prachetas, the son of Prachinna Bhari, entered the depths of the ocean to perform austerity in a secluded place. Since they performed austerities for 10,000 years, this incident took place in the Satya Yuga, when people used to live for 100,000 years. It is also significant that by their austerity, they worship the master of austerity, Yoga Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. If one wants to perform austerities and penances in order to attain the supreme goal, one must attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one achieves the favor of the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that he has finished all kinds of austerities and penances and has attained efficiency in their execution. On the other hand, if one does not attain the perfect stage of devotional service, all austerities and penances actually have no meaning, for without the Supreme Lord, no one can attain the highest result derived from performing them. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Lord Krishna is the master of all penances and sacrifices. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Thus, the desired result of performing austerities may be derived from Lord Krishna. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.37, it is stated, Aho bata swapacho to gariyam yaj jivagre vartate nama tubhyam tepus tapaste juhuvu sasnur arya brahmanu uchur nama grahanti yete. Even if a person is born in a family of Chandalas, the lowest birth one can get in human society, he is glorious if he chants the holy names of the Lord. For it is to be understood that by such chanting, a devotee definitely proves that he underwent all kinds of austerities in his previous life. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya, one who chants the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, attains the highest perfectional stage, which had previously been attained by people who entered the ocean and executed austerities for 10,000 years. In this age of Kali, if a person does not take advantage of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, which is offered as a great concession to the fallen human beings of this age, it is to be understood that he is very much bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So we should understand, this is a very, very important statement. That one who is chanting has underwent all kinds of austerities in this previous life. So if somebody is chanting the holy name of the Lord, it is to be understood that he is very much bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So we should understand, this is a very, very important statement. That one who is chanting, one who is chanting has underwent all kinds of austerities in this previous life. So if somebody is chanting the holy name of the Lord, it must be understood that he has underwent all kinds of austerities. So congratulations to all of the devotees who are chanting, because it means that you have underwent all kinds of austerities, right? So we have performed such kind of austerities sometime in previous lives. That's what Prabhupada is saying. And we must take advantage. This is what Lilananda Prabhuji always says, is a bumper lottery, right? In Kali Yuga, if you can chant the names of Lord Hari, or you chant the Mahamantra, then you get unlimited sukriti, and you can attain the Supreme Lord, right? So this is a bumper offer. We should all take advantage of this and go back back home to Godhead, right? I mean, the purports are so, I mean, if you look at Prabhupada's purports, if you read just this one paragraph, you can understand the gist of all the Vedas, that it is to chant the names of Hare Krishna mantra, or chant the names of Lord Hari, right? And everywhere Prabhupada, I mean, if you read the purports of Prabhupada, if you read even one purport, you can perfect your life with it. So that's the greatness you can see in these purports of Prabhupada, right? Let's move ahead. 15. So we'll stop at 20, Mataji, today, or maybe not even 20. We'll stop at 8:30, right? When all the sons of Prachina Bhari left home to execute austerities, they met Lord Shiva, who out of great mercy instructed them about the absolute truth. All the sons of Prachina Bhari meditated upon the instructions, chanting and worshipping them with great care and attention. So they are, the Prachetas are now meeting Lord Shiva, and there is a purport here. Let's read it. It is clear that to perform austerities or penances, or for that matter, any form of devotional service, one has to be guided by a spiritual master. Here it is clearly stated that the 10 sons of Maharaj Prachina Bhari were favored by the appearance of Lord Shiva, who out of great kindness gave them instructions regarding the execution of austerities. Lord Shiva actually became the spiritual master of the 10 sons, and in turn, his disciples took his words so seriously that simply by meditating upon his instruction, dhyana anattah, they became perfect. This is the secret of success. After being initiated and receiving the orders of the spiritual master, the disciple should unhesitatingly think about the instructions or orders of the spiritual master and should not allow himself to be disturbed by anything else. This is also the verdict of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, who, while explaining the verse of Bhagavad Gita, beginning Vyavsayatmika Buddhir Ekehe Kurunandana, points out that the order of the spiritual master is the life substance of the disciple. The disciple should not consider whether he is going back home, back to Godhead. His first business should be to execute the order of his spiritual master. Thus, a disciple should always meditate on the order of the spiritual master, and that is perfectional meditation. Not only should he meditate upon that order, but he should find out means by which he can perfectly worship and execute it. So please understand this, that this is Canto 4, right? Prabhupada, when he is writing this purport, actually, most likely he had Prabhupada took the first 3 cantos of Bhagavatam to America, right? So most likely, I'm not 100% sure, and I do not know, but most likely he was writing this purport when he was in America, and he was trying to establish ISKCON. So you can see that the importance Prabhupada gives to the orders of the spiritual master, and he shows it by his own example, right? That since my Guru Maharaj has ordered me to go to the West and preach this philosophy, I'm doing it. And he shows it by his own example. And Prabhupada is writing that exact same thing in this purport. Okay. Let's move on. 16. Translation. Vidura asked Maitreya. Now again, the conversation is between Vidura and Maitreya, right? My dear Brahmana, why did the Prachetas meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened, how Lord Shiva became very pleased with them, and how he instructed them. Certainly such talks are important, and I wish that you please be merciful upon me and describe them. So Vidur Maharaj is asking Maitreya Muni that please explain me how did the Lord Shiva meet the Prachetas, because it is not easy to get personal association of Lord Shiva. So how did they meet? I mean, that's what the question is. Why did the Prachetas meet the Lord Shiva? And what happened in that meeting? So something very important must have happened, right? That's why, I mean, the discussion between the Prachetas and Lord Shiva. So please describe to me that, right? So for example, the Bhagavatam starts with the discussion between Suta Goswami and the rishis in Naimisharanya. Then they ask questions about the discussion between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami. So similarly, there is a discussion and meeting between Lord Shiva and Prachetas. So Vidur Maharaj is asking Maitreya Muni to explain that. Okay. 17. The great sage Vidura continued, O best of the Brahmanas, it is very difficult for living entities engaged within this material body to have personal contact with Lord Shiva. Even great sages who have no material attachments do not contact him, despite their always being absorbed in meditation to attain his personal contact. So it's not easy to get personal contact with Lord Shiva. However, Lord Shiva is also known as Ashutosh, right? So but still it is not easy. And so let's look at the purport. Since Lord Shiva does not incarnate himself unless there is some special reason, it is very difficult for an ordinary person to contact him. However, Lord Shiva does descend on a special occasion when he is ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this regard, it is stated in the Padma Puran that Lord Shiva appeared as a Brahmana in the age of Kali to preach the Mayavada philosophy, which is nothing but a type of Buddhist philosophy. It is stated in Padma Purana, Mayavadam asach shastram, prachannam bauddham uchyate, Mayavaya vihitam devi, kalau brahmana murtina. So Lord Shiva is speaking to Parvati Devi. Lord Shiva speaking to Parvati Devi foretold that he would spread the Mayavada philosophy in the guise of a sannyasi Brahmana, just to eradicate Buddhist philosophy. This sannyasi was Sripada Shankaracharya. In order to overcome the effects of Buddhist philosophy and spread Vedanta philosophy, Sripad Shankaracharya had to make some compromise with the Buddhist philosophy, and as such he preached the philosophy of monism, for it was required for that time. Otherwise, there was no need for his preaching Mayavada philosophy. At the present moment, there is no need for Mayavada philosophy or Buddhist philosophy, and Lord Chaitanya rejected both of them. This Krishna consciousness movement is spreading the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya and rejecting the philosophies of both classes of Mayavadi. Strictly speaking, both Buddhist philosophy and Shankara's philosophy are but different types of Mayavad dealing on the platform of material existence. Neither of these philosophies has spiritual significance. There is spiritual significance only after one accepts the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, which culminates in surrendering onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, people worship Lord Shiva for some material benefit, and although they cannot see him personally, they derive great material profit by worshipping him. So again, you can see that Lord Shiva is allowing himself to be used by the Supreme Lord, right? He is such a great devotee that he is ready to take up tasks which are in complete contrast to what I mean. You might it's like you can say Lord Shiva is propagating the Mayavad philosophy, right? Again, not a good position to be in, right? And he's still doing that service for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So we can see that he's a great devotee of the Lord and allowing himself to be used as the Lord wants, right? Is behaving as an instrument in the hands of the Lord, in order so that the pastimes of the Lord and the greatness of the Lord will come out, right? 18. Lord Shiva, the most powerful demigod, second only to Lord Vishnu, is self-sufficient. Although he has nothing to aspire for in the material world, for the benefit of those in the material world, he is always busily engaged everywhere and is accompanied by his dangerous energies like Lord Goddess Kali and Goddess Durga, right? So there is a big purport which Prabhupada has written, and I think we'll stop here. Mataji, is it okay? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we'll stop here at 18 shloka.
Okay.
So
okay.
then, yeah. So Prabhuji and Mataji, sorry, we are closing the class a little early today. And thank you everyone for joining. If there are questions, comments, the session is open. Please go ahead and ask the questions, and please put in your comments. Please let me know. I mean, I'm extremely sorry if I've spoken something which might have hurt you. And please let me know what I can correct, what can I improve. I was not very much prepared for this class, so I please beg your forgiveness for that.
No, not at all, Prabhuji. It was good. Discussions were good. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dhanvat Pranam, Prabhuji.
So Prithvi Maharaj and his son also faced the same kinds of challenges from Indra, right? More or less, that is what my understanding is. Is that correct, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhuji. The sons of Prithu Maharaj have not faced any challenges from Indra, actually. Actually, Indra blessed the son of Prithu Maharaj, right?
Right,
He,
okay.
he blessed him with the mystic yogic power of disappearing at any time, because he was pleased with him, right?
Okay.
So King Indra, since Prithu Maharaj was performing 100 sacrifices, horse sacrifices, and somebody who performs 100 horse sacrifices can then become Indra, right? So Prithu Maharaj, King Indra actually became envious of Prithu Maharaj and wanted to stop him from performing those 100 yajnas. So that's why he was trying to steal the horse. And the son of Prithu Maharaj saw Indra stealing that horse, but he still did not stop him or chastise him, because he knew that Indra was a respectable person. So Prabhupada says that only out of sentiment he did not try to punish Indra. And because of this behavior, Indra was very pleased with King Vijitsva, right? And he gave him that power of disappearance.
Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. It was a great class, Prabhuji. Shreegopal Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
But Indra happens to be a very controversial character, isn't it, Prabhuji? It is very hard to explain his activities to, say, someone who is novice, right?
Yes, Mataji. Correct. You are absolutely right. But if you look at it, sorry, Mataji, you can go ahead. If you had.
I was just going to end it saying that people who are like we are preaching, we are reading this out, right? And there will be a mix of audience, and there will be some elements of doubt that are planted in the people's understanding by reading all of this. And I was just imagining, what if somebody gets the excerpt of that purport, and these days things can go viral out of context, and if people get hands on such text, and they can actually twist it according to their own benefits, conveniences. It's just a thought. I don't know what we can do about it, but I was thinking that this is not an easy chapter to explain unless somebody is into this journey for some time and chanting rounds and things like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mataji, that Indra it seems to be controversial. Absolutely right. And if you look at the purport also in which Prabhupada has written that he actually he's stealing, he's trying to steal somebody's wife also, right?
Yeah.
So looking at that, if you read it and you just say that this is what your gods do, like somebody can interpret it this way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. But the correct understanding is that the Supreme Lord is I mean, it's like he wants to participate in the pastimes of the Lord, right? The Lord is I mean, why did Indra steal the horse? Such that Lord Vishnu can give darshan to Prithu Maharaj, right? That was
Right.
the final result of that, right? And
Yeah.
so the correct understanding is that these great personalities, they allow themselves to be put in such situations that even though they look bad externally, the Lord, they actually are doing service to the Lord. So that is the understanding. You can even see from Lord Shiva's behavior sometimes, right? Like he becomes so attracted to Mohini Murti, right? And then he
Right.
runs after her. And again, that is all the pastimes of the Lord.
Correct.
And somebody, as you said, this can be twisted, and you can see purports of Prabhupada also getting twisted to say that he is against women and all that. So that is Kali Yuga, Mataji. We can't do much about it. It's just that we can only pray that people don't do that. But yes, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, Prabhuji. I think I was thinking it is best to sort of let those kind of conversations not go very long and
Very
sort
long,
of
yeah.
end in a very acceptable platform, saying that there are a lot of hidden truths here and it takes a journey to really understand. Please stay with us, kind of a thing.
Correct. So, but yes, you are absolutely right that people can twist all this, and I've seen that. I've seen people doing it, taking things out of context.
Yeah.
Without understanding the context, just quote something and say that this is what is happening. So
Yeah, especially in this social media world.
yeah, social media is absolutely I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very difficult place to be. So I never put my comments anywhere in that social media.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, Haribol. So we'll stop. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyas. Sorry, somebody's has question.
Yeah, Ganat Pranam.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I just comment, Prabhuji. Only thing is, nowadays the people, the knowledge that they have is only through serials. Like just now we're talking about Shiva. There is a Hindi serial also, Shiva Purana. All these things are coming. So in those serials, they only show what is there at the written. Like okay, they dramatize it in such a way that okay, this is what is real. But this next level of what you said just now, the Tattvic level, like what is the underlying factor of why Shiva has done like that? Nobody actually tells, even in the serials and everywhere. So people are only referring to those watching that. Oh, Shiva is like this, or maybe Mohini Murti is like this. So that level of knowledge only there. I don't know. Maybe.
So Prabhuji, that this is a problem, right? This, I mean, especially the serials and all, these are made for commercial purposes. We should understand that they are made and dramatized and done in such a way that they can make money out of it. So they do it for commercial purposes. They are not doing it for devotional purposes, and they are done for kind of entertainment. But some good thing is that since it is about the Lord, people at least understand something from our scriptures. So they at least know those stories, right? So that is the only good thing which comes out of that. But as you said, right, if people don't have that maturity and people don't interpret it correctly, then they will be bewildered, and that's what happens in today's world. And people take things out of context, and as Suma Mataji was also saying, that this social media, it's absolutely rubbish. You can see people commenting anything, absolutely anything. And we can't do much about it, because I mean, unless we just simply try to propagate what we know, the knowledge which we have, we just try to propagate to as many people as we can, right?
Correct,
Right
Prabhuji.
to speak.
Yeah. The problem is when somebody asks that question, like, hey, why your Shiva has
Hare Krishna. So,
Connection.
I think,
Connection went.
yeah. Hare Krishna, Satyadev Prabhuji, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji. So what I'm saying is, like, somebody has questions them, like, okay, why your Shiva did like this? Why, that question comes in, then that's it. Nobody there. I don't know. I cannot tell answer like
Yeah,
that.
that's
People.
that's the problem. They don't have the knowledge, and then cannot answer, right? So and see, unless you read the scriptures, and not just reading. See, it's not about just reading. You have to be in some parapara, and then you are reading the scriptures, then you will get the understanding. Otherwise, simply reading will also not give you that understanding, right? So the problem here is very simple, Prabhuji, that anybody for religion, anybody can comment anything without we asking them about their qualification or anything. Are you actually qualified to comment about it? Like, for example, take medical field, right? Can anybody comment anything about it? Because you need a qualification. Are you a doctor? They'll ask you, the first thing they'll ask is, are you a doctor to comment on such things? So but in religion, it's all open for anybody to say anything, and that's our misfortune. Nobody is asking what is your qualification. Have you read the scriptures? Have you read it in a proper way? Then if you comment, then it makes sense. But then that is not the case in case of religion, right? Anybody can comment anything, and that's our misfortune. And we cannot do much about it.
Yes, Prabhuji. And just now I was reading in what was written here, like, but it's already written in Padma Purana that Shankaracharya is a, I know that Shankaracharya is actually incarnation of Lord Shiva, and I heard from a lot of preachers also, but it is already written in Padma Purana that yes, he has come.
And he himself is saying that. It's not that
Mm,
anybody else is saying. He himself is saying to Mother Parvati that I will come and do this. He's saying it.
yeah.
He himself is saying it. And there is a clear direct, right? I mean, you cannot interpret it in any other way.
But those, like, that's what I mean. If such a clearly written, and it's even Shiva has himself is spoken, but people who are scholarly people also, they don't accept. Those who are following Shankaracharya for like those Mayavadis, they don't accept this.
It actually comes down to ego then, that people don't want to accept their mistakes, or just want to, I mean, especially when you talk about scholars and people of prominence, right? They don't want to accept their mistake, that whatever they think they are doing, think that they are doing good only, and we should leave them to what they, I mean, you can't change people, right? It's of no point. You can only do to a certain extent, preach. If they accept it, well and good. If they don't want to accept it, we can't do much.
Yeah, correct. True, Prabhuji. Yeah, very nice details, Prabhuji. I mean, I was listening to all the just purports, and I think I need to read again to have more understanding. But thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was a wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Haribol. All right then. Thank you, everyone. So we'll close the class. Vancha kalpatarupyasya krupa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Shreegopal Prabhu ki jai.
Haribol. Don't say that, Prabhu.
Pranam.
Pranam. Thank you, everyone.
Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.